What's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, what's up? Hello, I'm Joe, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and trusting me to entertain you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and give this video a big thumbs up. Okay, so for today's video, we are going to be doing something. My camera angle is like a little bit off. I'm like looking in the viewfinder because I'm having to like sit back so that I don't like chop off my head like this. Because I haven't quite figured out like how to do this setup. I keep swapping stuff, honestly. So you're just probably going to see my wall on both sides just so that we can do that. But anyways, so for today's video, something that I have not been seeing much of on YouTube anymore, and it makes me sad, is like the monthly favorites from YouTubers. Like, I used to always see like April 2020 favorites or March 2019 favorites, and I love those videos more than probably any of them because that's the videos that I went to try to find like what I wanted to buy if I was running out of something. So in today's video, I'm actually going to be showing you guys my drugstore favorites and my luxury / high-end favorites, so that if you want to shop drugstore and you want to know what my current favorites are for April, then you can do that. But if you prefer to do higher end and you're not a big fan of the drugstore makeup, then you can do that as well. I did something different with my hair today. As you guys know, like I chopped my hair. It was like all the way up to here, and I loved it like that. But I asked my husband, like he literally just lets me do whatever with my hair and like everything. Like he doesn't care. And so one day I was like, so do you prefer my hair short or long? And he's like, oh, I don't really care. It's like, it's whatever. And I'm like, but which one do you prefer? And he's like, I really don't care. Like whichever one. And I was like, you have to have a preference. And he finally, after all these years, was like, well, I mean, I prefer long hair, but it looks good short. And I was like, that's it, I'm growing it out. So I'm currently in the growing it out stage, and it's finally at the length where I can curl it and it doesn't like shrink up. So that's what this is. Okay, so first I want to say normally I would start out with a primer, but I don't use primers much anymore, and if I ever do, it's this Tatcha Silk Canvas. I think I'm crooked. Am I crooked? Alright, I don't really know what my setup is going on here, so sorry about that. But so I don't typically use a primer anymore. I don't know why. If I'm just doing like an everyday makeup look, but if I'm like trying to glam up for pictures or for whatever reason I might be trying to actually get ready, I'll use the Tatcha Silk Canvas. But I do not ever use a drugstore primer. But if you wanted to get a drugstore version or something good from the drugstore, the e.l.f. Putty Primer is super popular. I didn't find that it did the same benefits for me as most of my primers do, but it's Jeffree Star approved, so you know that it has to be semi-decent. And a lot of people love it. So that's just a drugstore option. But for my favorites, we're going to go into foundations. And these are my favorite foundations right now. Now, this is our more high-end foundation, and this is our drugstore foundation. There's about a $20 difference, I think, between the two. Maybe a little bit less, maybe $15. I think this one runs around like 11 or 12 bucks, but this is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear, and this is the Urban Decay Stay Naked 24-Hour Wear, and these are my favorite. I used to like really lean towards like matte foundations, but the older I get, the more I'm into the more like natural finish. I don't really like super luminous because I do get oily, but I like the more natural finish. This one has SPF 25 in it. I don't know, but I don't think. It doesn't advertise it on the bottle, and I don't have the packaging anymore. But I don't think this has SPF in it, but I could be wrong. This one does have SPF, and actually kind of has an SPF smell to it, which is totally fine, but it's great for summer. Does not cling to dry patches, and I really feel like that this one is a good dupe for this one. I get the same effect, same texture, same everything from these two foundations. Okay, so the next thing is setting powders, and these are my two favorite setting powders. So from the drugstore, it's the Coty Airspin. I think this is everybody's favorite Airspin. I was like, wait, that didn't sound right, and I was like, what is this called? Anyways, I use the Naturally Neutral if I want a little bit of like color. If I'm baking underneath my eye, it kind of gives me a little bit of brightness. Or you can do the Translucent Extra Coverage, which does kind of give you a little more coverage, but it's translucent. It doesn't add color or anything. But if you've never tried, this is a really, really, really good setting powder. It's a holy grail. Like, it used to sit on my mom's vanity when I was a kid. But this, like, it even says a beauty legacy since 1935, and it's so true. It comes with a powder puff. It comes with a lot of product. There is 65 grams, which is a ton for a setting powder. I think it's like $5.99. But anyways, if you know, you know. It's good. But for high end, the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter setting powder is my all-time favorite. I get the butter. I prefer this over the Coty Airspun. I need a little bit of a thicker powder, like, for example, the Hourglass was my favorite for a while, except that I noticed it wasn't holding the creases under my eyes in place, whereas this one's a little bit, it's finely milled, but it's thicker, I guess you could say, and so it baked better for me. And I'm obsessed with the way this smells. I don't know if I told you guys, but I got the shade Butter. It comes in multiple shades, but this one is my favorite. So next up, I'm going to talk about bronzer and contour. What I'm about to tell you is what I'm actually wearing right now as far as the bronzing and contouring. So I have never been into like cream products. Usually I'll do my liquid foundation and then everything else after that is powder. I immediately go in and set my face and then just do powder products. Well, I don't know why I got an itch to like try cream products, but I used to be like, and I still kind of am, obsessed with just Huda Beauty as a brand. Like, I just liked a lot of their stuff, but then I noticed that there's only a few things that I actually absolutely love of theirs. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But this, for some reason, ever since it came out, it had my eye. It's the contour and bronzer cream, the Tantour that she came out with. Now, I again was never into cream products, but for some reason, just like, I don't know if it was just the presentation of this product, but it looked beautiful, and the shade Light looked like a perfect like contour shade. But here it is right here. Look how pretty that color is. And so after like a year of it being out, I was finally like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. It actually might have been longer than a year, maybe 2. But I was like, you know what, I want to try that. So I went to Sephora, I grabbed it, and if I have time to do this step, I love it. I did it today. My kids were gone to their grandparents, and I did my foundation. I skipped that part, sorry, I skipped concealer. I just don't use concealer much anymore at all, and the reason being is because I feel like that I photograph better when I don't have concealer under my eyes. Like, for some reason, I just like the way my skin looks when I'm just have on the foundation. I feel like I look more natural, more skin-like. So I don't really use it much anymore unless, again, I'm doing like, I'm going somewhere full glam. But if I'm really trying to take like cute pictures or whatever, I don't use concealer. So I don't really have a favorite concealer at the time, but if I had to pick, I would pick the Tarte Shape Tip, of course, or the Stay Naked also has a concealer, and it is just as good as this foundation. And for drugstore concealer, the Believe Beauty concealer from Dollar General is $5. Actually might be $4, is my favorite. So if you wanted concealer, there's concealer. But back to the Tantour. So I love this shade. It's just a really, really, really pretty shade, and it blends and everything so effortlessly. It's so pretty. And then, so I'll do the cream contour, and then I just set my face and then go and add the powder products. And now when it comes to powder products, my favorite bronzer at the moment is the NARS Laguna bronzer. I absolutely love this bronzer. It builds so nicely, and it's so, so pretty. I don't have that on today because I was trying a different bronzer that I haven't reached for in a while, but this is the one I've been going to every single day, and I absolutely love it. It's just like a perfect, I feel like it's not too cool, not too warm. It's just a good, it's more leaning warm, so it does give a pretty bronze. It's just a good shade. But then I go back in and add like depth with this Natasha Denona sculpting powder in dark. Oh, sorry, this Huda Beauty one is in the shade Light. I think I said that, I don't know. But this Natasha Denona sculpting powder in the shade Dark is what I go back in and I'll add a little bit of depth. It's just a tad darker than that NARS Laguna. And for brows, this is something that I have been using for years. Years ago, I was on a network marketing company, and a lot of their stuff I didn't think was just over the top wonderful, but there were a couple things that were like holy grails for me and still are, and one of them is the brow palette. Now I love this brow palette. It is the Moodstruck Brow Obsession palette from Unique. I'm obsessed with this palette. It's just what I use every single time you see my brows. That's what I have used. And then of course an additional brow product that I never leave the house without is this Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. It holds my brows in place. It actually makes them look really uniform. And also if I get the brow powder a little too thick or too much, when I comb over it with this clear brow gel, it's like makes it look a little more natural, and I love that. Okay, so moving on to blushes. My favorite drugstore blushes, and it's pretty much stayed this way for a while, is the Milani powder blushes that have like the rose embellishment right here. Like it's raised up into a rose shape. Super cute. This is the shade Coral Cove, and this is shade Tea Rose, and I love both of them. This one looks better on like darker complexions, or like medium to deep skin tones, and this one looks a lot better on pretty much any skin tone. Can really pull this shade off. But for high end, this is not considered a blush, but I love glowy blushes, especially in the summertime. And this is actually Jaclyn Hill's Flare palette. So this is actually for deeper skin tones. It's our highlighting palette, and it's for deeper skin tones. I can wear this one as a highlight, and then the rest I can wear as eyeshadow, but this one is supposed to be a highlight, but it is a beautiful glowy blush. Now it's a glowy blush because it is supposed to be a highlight, but I love to dab into it and tap off a lot of the excess and just use this as a beautiful glowy blush. I love, love, love that. But if you're not wanting to buy an entire palette that's not even meant for your skin tone, or if you don't like that particular vibe, I love, love, love my favorite high-end blush outside of a highlight is the NARS Orgasm X. Now, if you have light skin tone, this is going to be way too much on you. It's very pigmented, but I love the pop of color that it gives. This is actually wonderful for like really deep skin tones, but I can wear it if I'm very light-handed, and I really, really love it. And then if you do have the lighter skin tones, I love the NARS Orgasm, just the irregular one. It is beautiful. They're both glowy blushes, and I love them. And then for highlighters, my all-time favorite highlighters as far as the, for highlighters, I use different highlighters. For my cheekbones and my nose, I use one highlight, and I use that same one for my inner corner and my brow bone. And then to highlight like my chin and my forehead, I use a different powder. So for those powders on my chin and forehead, more like a glow from within powder, not so much shimmery, not so intense of a glow, I use, for high end, I use either the Hourglass Ambient Strobe Light or the Jaclyn Hill Brighten Up Luminous Powder. I use both of these. I love to take this one in particular and kind of go like all over my face and not even use like a blinding highlight, and just kind of literally dust this all over my face because it's so finely milled and there's no like intense glitter or shimmer in it. It's more of like a sheen, and I love that, like a glow from within. I didn't do that today, but today I have the Hourglass on the center of my forehead, and I'm not oily at all. This is just that glow, and that's what I love. I love to look like really dewy without actually being dewy, if that makes sense. But as far as like the glow from within, I don't really have a drugstore option for that. Most of the highlights from the drugstore tend to be more blinding or chalky, and I can't really use it for those purposes. But as far as like intense facial highlights, my favorite high-end one that I've been reaching for probably the most, and that's why I'm going to call it my favorite, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills X Amrezy highlighter. This is so beautiful and blinding. It's what I have on my cheeks, inner corner, and brow bone today. But as far as a drugstore option, as far as my favorite blinding highlight from the drugstore, I would definitely say is the Believe Beauty Radiant Finish highlighter in Pink Pearls. Again, this one is from literally Dollar General, but it is so buttery, and just look at that highlight. They have a ton of different ones, But this one's a little bit darker, but it's like a pinky. Oh, it's so pretty and buttery, and it just blends so effortlessly into the skin and just melts, and I absolutely love it. And again, it's like $4 or $5, guys. Okay, so for setting spray. Now, this is just the setting spray that I have found myself reaching for every time I get ready. And it's funny because there are past videos where I'm just literally like, I just was like, whatever with it. Like, I was like, it feels good, it's not bad, but it's just not my favorite. But this has literally become one of my favorite setting sprays. I'm not sure why, but I just always reach for it. But it's the Morphe Continuous Mist setting spray. And I think it might be the fact that it's a continuous mist and I don't get like that splotch splash. I get that like just solid, fine mist. And then for my favorite palette, I had so many that I wanted to talk about, but I was like, which one do I reach for the most? And it is this one. It is what is on my eyes currently, and literally every single time I wear this eyeshadow. And I've been doing TikToks lately, yeah, shameless plug here, but every time you can see it up close of my eyeshadow in my TikToks, people ask me, what eyeshadow are you using? What eyeshadow are you using? What eyeshadow are you using? And it's always this palette every single time they compliment me. And it is the Tati Beauty Volume 1 Neutrals palette. Now, unfortunately, I rolled over this thing with my chair and it shattered the mirror. But it didn't touch the eyeshadows. And I love this palette. I cannot wait for them to be a volume 2, volume 3, volume 4. This one is definitely more my vibe because all these colors are the type of colors I would use on a daily basis. But yeah, definitely my favorite palette. And as far as drugstore eyeshadows, literally probably any Morphe palette is a good purchase. I know you can't really necessarily get that from the drugstore, but you can purchase it at Ulta, and it's in the drugstore section. It's more of the it's a less expensive option. But as far as eyeliner goes, I do not have a favorite high-end eyeliner. My all-time favorite eyeliner is only from drugstore, and it's the one I always reach for. It is the Pixie by Petra. It's this one right here, and it's the Endless Silky Eye Pen, and this is a shade black, obviously, but they have several different shades. I use all of them. I use this brown, like shimmery copper one, and they have, I think, blue and purple, but these are the creamiest, most pigmented eyeliners ever. As you can tell, this is like my 3rd or 4th one in the past year, and look how small it is. I'm obsessed. And then for mascara, my all-time favorite mascara right now, and it is what I'm wearing. I don't know if you guys can see my eyelashes. I'm trying to get it to focus, but they're insanely long, and it is literally thanks to this mascara. Not that they've grown, but every time I wear this mascara, my eyelashes look insanely lengthened and volumized, and it builds so beautifully, and it just curls my lashes so well. And this is one that I got in BoxyCharm. It's the Pretty Vulgar Mascara in Faux Real Black Swan. The Faux Real mascara in Black Swan. I'm obsessed with this mascara, and the packaging is adorable also. But as far as like a drugstore mascara that I absolutely love, it's obviously the Lash Paradise. That would be the drugstore mascara that I would tell you to get. But if I had to pick one mascara that I'm obsessed with, it would definitely be this one. And then last but not least, for lips. Okay, I have the only high-end, and this one even is kind of inexpensive, but it's more considered high-end, for lip liner is the KKW lip liner in Nude One. It is what I'm wearing right now, and it has become my all-time favorite lip liner. I used to reach for brown nudes all the time, but I couldn't find a good brown nude in this line, but I really wanted to try it, so I went with this pinky nude, and I'm actually obsessed with it. I love the color, and now I barely wear brown nudes. I love, love, love the way this one looks. But this is the lip liner I use, and then the lipstick, which is the lipstick I have on right now, which is my go-to favorite lipstick, is this Ulta Beauty brand. It's from Ulta Beauty. It is the creamiest, most beautiful, pigmented, like, it's not too shiny. It's like the perfect satin finish. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Look at that. but it's the shade Barely There from the Ulta Beauty line, and I'm obsessed with this. And I've actually recommended this to a few people, and they're just as obsessed with it, and they have completely different skin tones than me. So I think that no matter what kind of skin tone you are, that you would love that. So I don't really have other options for these two. This has just been my go-to combo, but one's high-end and one is drugstore, so that's good. But I also have another favorite that is a drugstore favorite lip, and that is the Flower Beauty. This is something that has been a favorite of mine for a very long time. You guys know that. If you watch my channel, I talk about these all the time. These are the liquid lip whips. This is Drew Barrymore's makeup line. The formula of this is just so comfortable. It's cooling. Your lips don't dry or crack or nothing, and it's not transfer proof, but I don't really care about that anymore. It used to be my big thing, but I would much rather the lip be comfortable and look juicy and plump rather than looking dry and cracked but not transferring. Like, I would rather it just transfer. But anyways, so that's what this is. It does dry down, but not to a dry and cracking stage. But because I don't really care about the liquid lips like transfer anymore, that's why I've really gone with the lip liner with like a bullet lipstick combo, and those have been my favorite. So yeah, that is it for today's video. Again, I just wanted to get one of these kind of videos out there because, again, I miss watching videos like this, and I haven't filmed one like this for you guys in a while either, but I am thinking of lots of different ideas coming out for content for you guys. Let me know what you guys want to see on my channel. It does not have to be specifically makeup related. If you have different things that you want to see from me, more lifestyle, more vlog, more challenges, or more, if you want to see more beauty and just specific things that you want to see, please let me know. What is your favorite thing to watch on my channel? I will gladly take those in consideration, highly actually, because most of my ideas come from you guys, and I appreciate that. But anyways, that is it for today's video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye guys! Yeah.